My name is Victoria Nash and I'm 38 years old. Last Saturday at my parents' 40th anniversary party, they called my 12-year-old daughter the dumb one in front of 50 guests. Not once, multiple times. My daughter Emma sat at the kids' table, quiet, trying to be invisible. My sister's daughter Sophia sat next to her, same age, total opposite. Sophia's the star, straight A's, gifted program, piano prodigy, the golden grandchild. Emma's different. She has dyslexia. School's hard for her. She tries so hard, but reading doesn't come easy. My parents never understood. Never tried to. At the party, my mom clinked her champagne glass. Big announcement time. We want to thank everyone for celebrating 40 beautiful years with us. And we have some exciting news to share. Dad stood up, smiled at Sophia. We've been thinking about our legacy, about passing down what we've built. And we've decided that our granddaughter Sophia will inherit the family home and the $250,000 trust fund we've established. The room erupted in applause. I looked at Emma, her face crumpled. She was trying not to cry. My sister Rachel beamed. Thank you so much. Sophia will treasure this legacy. Mom wasn't done. She looked right at Emma. Now we love both our granddaughters. But Sophia has shown real promise, real intelligence. She'll do something meaningful with this inheritance. I felt my blood turn to ice. Emma's a sweet girl, Dad added. But let's be honest. She's the dumb one. She'll probably be fine with a simple life. She doesn't need this kind of responsibility. The dumb one. He said it out loud, in front of 50 people, about my 12-year-old daughter. Emma stood up from the table, ran to the bathroom. I heard her crying. Rachel grabbed my arm as I started to stand. Don't make a scene. They're just being practical. I pulled my arm away, walked to the front of the room. Everyone was still clapping, celebrating, oblivious. I picked up a champagne glass, clinked it with a fork, loud. The room went quiet. I have an announcement too, I said. My voice was steady, calm. Mom looked nervous. Victoria, this isn't the time. Oh, it's the perfect time. I smiled. You just announced that my daughter Emma is too dumb to inherit anything. That she'll live a simple life. That she doesn't deserve your legacy. The room was dead silent. I want everyone here to know something about Emma. Something my parents clearly don't know. I pulled out my phone. Showed them the screen. Last month, Emma entered the National Youth Science Competition. She built a water filtration system that removes 98% of contaminants using recycled materials. Out of 5,000 entries nationwide, she placed third. My parents' faces went pale. She also writes poetry. Beautiful poetry. She's had 3 poems published in literary magazines. At 12 years old, I looked at my sister. Sophia's talented, no doubt. But Emma's not dumb. She's dyslexic. There's a difference. Mom tried to speak. We didn't know. You didn't know because you never asked. You just labeled her and moved on. I turned to my dad. That $250,000 trust fund, Emma doesn't need it, because last week, I found out that my daughter, before I tell you what I revealed about Emma, how my parents reacted when they realized their mistake, and what happened to that inheritance, hit that like button and subscribe. Drop your location in the comments. Now let me tell you the full story. Emma was diagnosed with dyslexia when she was 7 years old. The school called me in for a meeting. Her teacher, the principal, a reading specialist. Mrs. Nash, Emma's struggling. She's significantly behind in reading. We think she should be tested. My heart sank. Behind? By how much? She's reading at a first grade level. She's in second grade. The test confirmed it. Severe dyslexia. Letters flipped. Words scrambled. Reading was torture for her. I researched everything. Found specialists. Got her into tutoring 3 times a week. Sometimes more. It was expensive. Exhausting. But Emma worked so hard. My parents? They didn't get it. She just needs to focus more, Dad would say. Some kids are just slower learners, Mom would add. When I tried to explain dyslexia to them, they waved it off. That's just a fancy word for not being smart enough. I stopped talking to them about it. Meanwhile, my sister Rachel's daughter Sophia was thriving. Straight A's from kindergarten, reading chapter books by first grade, winning spelling bees, playing piano at recitals. Every family dinner became a Sophia appreciation session. Did you hear Sophia won the math competition? Sophia's teacher says she's the smartest student she's ever had. Sophia's going to Harvard someday. We just know it. Emma would sit there, quiet, pushing food around her plate. One night when she was 9, she asked me, Mom, Am I stupid? What? No. Why would you think that? Grandma said I'm not as smart as Sophia. That I'll never be able to do what she does. I was furious. Confronted my mom the next day. Did you tell Emma she's not smart? I didn't say that exactly. I just said Sophia has special gifts. Emma will find her own path. A simpler one. She's 9 years old. You're crushing her confidence. I'm being realistic, Victoria. Not every child is gifted. That's when I realized. My parents had written Emma off. But Emma, she never gave up. With tutoring, she slowly improved. Reading went from torture to difficult to manageable. By 5th grade, she was reading at grade level. Still had to work twice as hard as other kids, but she did it. And she discovered something. She loved science. Specifically environmental science. Water quality, pollution, conservation. She'd spend hours watching documentaries, reading articles online, taking notes in her messy handwriting. One day she came to me with an idea. Mom, I want to build something. A water filter. For people who don't have clean water. That's a great idea, sweetie. Like for a school project? No, for real. There's a competition. The National Youth Science Competition. I want to enter. She was 11. The competition was for kids up to 18. Are you sure? That's a pretty advanced competition. I can do it. I know I can. So we cleared out a corner of the garage, set up a workspace. Emma got to work. For 6 months, she researched, experimented, failed, tried again. She built a filtration system using sand, gravel, activated charcoal, and recycled plastic bottles. It wasn't fancy, but it worked. 98% contaminant removal. She submitted her project. I didn't tell my parents. Didn't want them to dismiss it. 2 months later, we got the call. Emma placed 3rd. Out of 5,000 entries. Nationwide. I cried. Emma cried. We celebrated with ice cream and a movie. I thought about telling my parents. But I knew what they'd say. That's nice, honey. Did you hear Sophia won the state piano competition? So I kept it to myself. Then came the poetry. Emma started writing. Little verses at first. About nature. About water. About feeling different. Her tutor noticed. Victoria, Emma has a gift for language. Her writing is beautiful. Really? She sees the world differently. It comes through in her poetry. You should encourage this. I did. Got Emma a journal. Encouraged her to write every day. She filled 3 journals in 6 months. One day, she asked, Mom, do you think anyone would want to read my poems? I think your poems are amazing. But like real people, not just you. I helped her submit to a youth literary magazine, just to give her the experience. 3 weeks later, they accepted one. Published it in their spring edition. Then another magazine accepted 2 more poems. At 12 years old, Emma had 3 published poems. I was so proud. But again, I didn't tell my parents. What was the point? Then, last week, something incredible happened. Emma came home from school with a letter. Official-looking envelope. Mom, this came for me today. I opened it. Read it twice. Couldn't believe it. It was from MIT, the Massachusetts Institute of Technology. They were starting a new summer program for gifted young scientists. Kids aged 12 to 15. Emma's science competition project had caught their attention. They were inviting her to apply. Emma, do you know what this means? Is it good? MIT is one of the best science schools in the world. They want you. She stared at the letter. But I'm the dumb one. Grandpa said so. My heart broke. You are not dumb. You never were. Then why does everyone think I am? Because they don't understand dyslexia. They don't see how hard you work, how brilliant you actually are. She looked up at me. Do you think I could get in? To the program? I think you can do anything you set your mind to. We filled out the application that night, submitted it the next day. 2 days later, my parents called. Victoria, we're planning our anniversary party. 40 years. We want to make a big announcement. What announcement? We're finalizing our estate planning. We want to announce who's inheriting what. My stomach dropped. And? Well, Sophia's been doing so well. Straight. A's, piano, leadership. We're leaving the house and the trust fund to her. What about Emma? We'll leave Emma some money, of course. Maybe 20,000. Enough to help her get started in whatever simple career she chooses. 20,000 versus 250,000. Mom, Emma's not... We've made our decision, Victoria. It's what's fair. Fair. The anniversary party was 3 days later. I almost didn't go. Almost kept Emma home. But then I thought, no. My parents needed to hear the truth. Emma wore her favorite dress. Tried to smile. But I could see the sadness in her eyes. At the kids' table, Sophia talked nonstop about her achievements. Emma stayed quiet. Then came the announcement. My parents. Smiling. Champagne glasses raised. Sophia will inherit the house and the trust fund. She's shown real promise, real intelligence. Then Dad looked at Emma. Emma's a sweet girl. But let's be honest. She's the dumb one. I watched my daughter's face crumble. That's when I stood up. I walked to the front of the room. Clinked my glass. I have an announcement too. The room went silent. You just called my daughter dumb. In front of 50 people. Mom's face went red. Victoria, we didn't mean... Let me tell you what the dumb one did this year. I pulled out my phone. Showed them Emma's science competition award. 3rd place, nationwide, 5,000 entries. She beat kids twice her age. I scrolled to her published poems. 3 published poems. In major literary magazines. At 12 years old. My parents went pale. And last week, I continued, Emma received this. I held up the letter from MIT. An invitation to apply to their summer program for gifted young scientists. MIT, one of the best schools in the world. The room erupted in whispers. Emma's not dumb. She has dyslexia, which means her brain works differently. She has to work twice as hard to read. But she does it. And she excels. I looked at Sophia. Your granddaughter is talented, absolutely. But so is mine. You just never bothered to notice. Dad tried to speak. We didn't know. Because you never asked. You labeled her at 7 years old and gave up on her. Mom was crying. We're sorry. We didn't understand. You didn't want to understand. It was easier to compare, to pick a favorite, to write Emma off. Rachel stood up. Victoria, this isn't the time. When is the time, Rachel? After you've collected your inheritance? After Emma's spent her whole childhood thinking she's worthless? I turned back to my parents. Keep your trust fund. Keep your house. Emma doesn't need it. She's going to earn her own success. And she's going to do it without you. I walked over to Emma, held out my hand. Come on, baby. We're leaving. She stood up, tears streaming down her face. As we walked out, my dad called after us. Victoria, please. Let's talk about this. I didn't turn around. We left. In the car, Emma finally spoke. Mom, did you mean all that? About me being smart? Every word. You are brilliant, Emma. Don't ever let anyone tell you otherwise. But I have dyslexia. I can't read like other kids. Dyslexia doesn't make you dumb. Einstein had dyslexia. So did Steven Spielberg. And Thomas Edison. Some of the smartest people in history. She was quiet for a moment. I got into the MIT program. What? The email came this morning. I didn't want to tell you until after the party. I got in. I pulled over. Hugged her tight. We both cried. My parents called 50 times over the next week. I didn't answer. Finally, they showed up at my house. Emma was at school. I let them in. Victoria, we're so sorry. We had no idea Emma was so accomplished. You would have known if you'd paid attention. Dad handed me an envelope. We've revised our estate plan. We're splitting everything equally between Sophia and Emma. I handed it back. Emma doesn't want it. What? She doesn't need your money. She needs your respect, your love, your belief in her. You can't buy that back with an inheritance. Mom was crying. How do we fix this? Start by learning about dyslexia. Actually learn, not just dismiss it. We will, I promise. And apologize to Emma. Really apologize. Tell her you were wrong, that she's brilliant. Of course, anything. And understand that rebuilding her trust will take years. Not weeks, years. They nodded. Emma's at MIT right now. Summer program. She's the youngest student there. She calls me every night, excited, inspired, happy. My parents are trying. They're reading books about dyslexia, going to therapy, learning. They sent Emma a card last week, apologizing, telling her how proud they are. Emma read it, smiled a little. It's a start. She's not ready to forgive them yet. Maybe someday. But she knows now. She knows she's brilliant, and that's what matters most. Thank you so much for listening to the end. If this story inspired you, smash that like button and subscribe. And drop your location in the comments. USA, UK, Canada, Australia? Let me know where you're watching from. Remember, different doesn't mean dumb. It means unique. And sometimes unique is exactly what the world needs. Take care. I'll see you in the next story.